Hi everyone, my name is Tanya and welcome to Altenew's Summer Fun Video Hub. Today we are celebrating Altenew's newest stamp, ink and die release, and I am so pleased that I am going to be sharing a quick overview of Altenew's new mixed media die inks. Now these are pigment inks, and this is basically me having just opened the package. I've not had to play with them yet. So the first thing I like to do when I get something new, especially like a medium or a paint or an ink, I like to swatch it, because then that it tells me exactly what it does, how it behaves, and what it looks like depending on what stamp I use and depending on what application I use it as. So I've gone through the 4 ink sets. You can get them as 2 bundles, you can get them as full bundles. They're available individually as well. I'm not going to talk too much about their properties in this video. I've got another video coming soon to the Altenew Mixed Media blog where I'm going to be doing a full overview of these inks and how you can use them. So to start off, I am taking the ink pads direct to my paper and then really lightly swiping them across my cardstock panel so that I get this streaky kind of ombre effect. It wasn't intentional, but when I looked at it, it reminded me of a sunset, and I thought, wow, that reminds me of holidays in a foreign country somewhere absolutely gorgeous. So I decided to use the Foliage stamp set with this to complete the image, and that finished my card. Now for the second one, I am using a Brayer, which, believe me, it's clean. It just looks stained, and I'm really lightly picking up the ink onto the brayer and then very lightly making these distressed strokes along the cardstock panel. And any excess ink that I have on my brayer, I am cleaning off on another piece of cardstock, which means that I have another cardstock panel ready to go for another card in the future. I like to, as if you know the way I work, I like to work and prepare things in advance as well, so that I have something ready to go for when I need to quickly make something. Now, the beauty of pigment ink and of this mixed media ink is that you can use this on non-porous surfaces. So I'm using this on something called Duralar Matte, which is a synthetic paper, but you can use this on vellum or thick parchment paper as well. And you will need to heat set it, as it will not dry on a non-porous surface. Now what I've done is I flipped over the stamped image after I had heat set it, and on the other side I am directly swiping the ink pads onto the stamped image. So this is on the back side, and the ink is still wet, and it's wet enough for me to manipulate this a little bit so that I can get some blended effects in. So I'm using like a scrap piece of tape liner, and just to hold the piece down as the ink is still wet, and using my fingers just to blend the two colors together so that I get like a blended effect, with the leaves being darker towards the inner corners and lighter towards the edges. And after deciding on how I wanted this beautiful, look at how big that flower image is. It's going to look absolutely gorgeous on an art journal page. Can you guess what I'm going to be using this on next? So I have decided on how I want to arrange this flower image on my cardstock panel. because I want to put a stamped image down, I made a slight mistake with my sentiment, and you'll see me correct it afterwards. I just dropped it a little bit, so I got a shadowy effect, which annoyed me, but I'll show you that how I fixed it afterwards. So I'm just putting some clear drawing glue on the back side of the die cut flower, and then I'm flipping it over and making sure that some of the flower is overlapping off the cardstock panel, and then I'm turning it over and cutting off the excess. So I'm just using the card blank outline. So where the ink had smudged a little bit, because you need to be careful as this is a slow drying ink, and which in I would consider a pro, because with this kind of ink you can heat emboss this as well. So all you need to do is you need to take some clear embossing powder, drizzle it over wherever you've put your pigment ink, and you can heat set it. This I'm going to be demonstrating in more videos in the future, and we're not quite done yet, because once I start get going I can't stop. So we've got a third card which I made using the geometric elements stamp, which is right up my street. It's full of shapes of different sizes, and some of them are symmetrical, some of them are asymmetrical. But for me, the pattern building possibilities for this stamp set are absolutely endless. So what I'm doing is just to demonstrate ways that you can build pattern using these stamp sets is I am just taking one of the stamp sets, and I'm using one of the mini ink cube sets, which is called Sweet Dreams, and I'm using the lightest color from the ink cube set, and I am stamping the diamond shape in a pattern. So once upwards, and then I'm flipping it around 180 degrees and stamping it the other way. And with the next line, I am lining up the stamps with the images on top, and then I'm repeating it with a third and darkest color. So I'm using from darkest from the lightest colors. You can use multicolors. You can use as many different colors as you want. You can use the same color if you want. You can color these images in afterwards. The possibilities are endless, and this is me just using one of the stamp images. It's one of the bigger stamp sets, and it's got a lot of different shapes and sizes that you can use. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite card, and I would love to know where you are watching from. And I will also leave a link to the next YouTube channel that you need to hop on. There are prizes to be won. Full details can be found on the Altenew YouTube channel. Thank you, take care, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.